Ever found yourself wondering if that little bit of crypto dust in your Beam wallet is actually doing anything? Or maybe you're just getting started and trying to figure out exactly how much Beam you need to keep things ticking over. It's a fair question, right? In the world of crypto wallets, sometimes there are minimum balance requirements lurking in the background, and it can be a little confusing to figure out what's what. You don't want your funds to get stuck or incur unexpected fees just because you didn't quite meet some hidden threshold. So, let's dive straight into the heart of the matter. What exactly is the minimum balance you need to maintain in your Beam wallet? The good news is, for a standard Beam wallet, there isn't a fixed, hard-coded minimum balance that you absolutely must keep to keep your wallet active or to avoid penalties. Unlike some traditional financial institutions that might require you to maintain a certain amount to avoid fees or account closure, Beam is designed to be more accessible. You can, in theory, hold even a very small fraction of a Beam token in your wallet without it disappearing or causing issues. However, that doesn't mean there aren't a few practical considerations to keep in mind. While the Beam network itself doesn't enforce a minimum balance for holding Beam in your personal wallet, there are certain actions within the Beam ecosystem that do require a small amount of Beam to cover transaction fees. Think of it like this: when you send Beam to another wallet, or when you interact with decentralized applications, dApps, built on the Beam network, you'll need to pay a small gas fee to the network. This fee compensates the miners or validators who process and secure the transaction. These fees are typically very small, but you do need to have enough Beam in your wallet to cover them. If your balance dips too low, you might not be able to initiate transactions. Furthermore, if you're participating in more advanced features of the Beam ecosystem, such as running a node or participating in governance proposals in the future, there might be specific staking or collateral requirements that would effectively act as a minimum amount you'd need to lock up. However, for the average user simply holding and transacting Beam, this isn't a concern. It's also worth noting that if you're using a third-party exchange or custodial service to hold your Beam, they might have their own internal minimum balance requirements for withdrawals or other actions. This isn't a restriction imposed by the Beam network itself, but rather a policy of that specific platform. So, if you're using an exchange, it's always a good idea to check their terms and conditions regarding minimum balances. So, to bring it all together, for your personal Beam wallet, you don't have a strict minimum balance you need to maintain just to keep it active. However, you will need a small amount of Beam to cover transaction fees when you want to send funds or interact with the network. Keeping a little extra Beam in your wallet beyond the exact amount you plan to send is always a good practice to ensure your transactions go through smoothly. Ultimately, Beam aims to be a user-friendly and accessible platform, and the absence of a rigid minimum balance for personal wallets reflects that ethos. It allows individuals to hold and manage their Beam without the worry of arbitrary balance thresholds. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.